morning. Today is Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. Today is a B day.
Hey, you want to know a cool science fact?
Sure.
20% of the Earth's oxygen is produced in the Amazon rainforest.
What? So cool.
Hey, you want to know a cool science fact?
Yeah, sure.
Babies are born without kneecaps.
Really? That's so weird.
The Poetry Out Loud competition is a national organized program where high school students are scored based on their skill of memorizing and performing selected poems. The two highest scoring students from NFA Free Academy will have the opportunity to compete against other Hudson Valley students at SUNY New Paltz in January. Winners on the regional level proceed to the state and national level for a chance of winning some of the $50,000 prize money that is awarded during the finals. The NFA Poetry Out Loud competition to determine the two local winners who will win the honor of continuing to the regional competition will be held on Tuesday, December 21st. Interested students should see Mr. Walls in room 143 or Mrs. McCurdy in room 273 for a list of approved poems as well as the rules and regulations for the competition.
What time does class start?
I don't know. I think in a couple minutes. Oh, we're late. We gotta go.
You're late.
I know. Oh man, I'm really sorry.
Don't let it happen again.
It won't. I promise. Oh man, I never want to be late again. If they call my dad, he's gonna kill me.
The Empire program will run on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2:20 to 3:50. There is no busing yet. Please see Mr. Cruz in 264 or Ms. Salisbury in the main office for information and schedules. Seal of Biliteracy in room 213 with Ms. Van Reyes or Ms. Mendez. Music will be in 258 with Dr. Carroll. If you already registered, report directly to these rooms upon dismissal. Other activities will be announced soon.
The Colonnade Magazine is looking for student work for the annual publication. Please submit your poems, short stories, plays, or your photographs, artwork, doodles to the Colonnade advisors, Mr. Waltz and Ms. McCurdy. Feel free to contact them with any questions at rwaltz@ncsd.net or vmcmccurdy@ncsd.net.
To our students, you must have your ID with you and visible at all times. This will be various security checks throughout the building where your ID will need to be presented if you are in the hallway after the bell. If you do not have your ID, you will be detained.
You're ugly.
That's derogatory.
Oh, I'm sorry. Derogatory. Showing a critical or disrespectful attitude.
Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Linda Romano, and I am the health science teacher here at NFA North. Today we're going to talk about vital signs, specifically blood pressure. The importance of checking somebody's blood pressure is for the prevention of stroke. When somebody's blood pressure goes too high, it can actually cause pressure on arteries, which can lead way to pushing blood clots or bursting a vessel, which will cause a stroke, bleed out in the brain, and even death. So we want to make sure that we keep people's blood pressure or educate that a lower blood pressure is very, very important. Blood pressure textbook normal is 120/80, but it varies with patient size, with age. The younger the person, the lower the blood pressure, and with activity. More sedentary lifestyle, a person would have high blood pressure, therefore putting them at risk for a stroke. When we take a blood pressure, we're using a cuff, which is called a sphygmomanometer, big word for blood pressure cuff, and we're using a stethoscope. The blood pressure cuff is placed on the upper arm, and we are listening or feeling first for the brachial artery for a pulse beat, and then we place our stethoscope in that spot. The person who is evaluating the blood pressure will have the stethoscope in their ears, and they will put air using the bulb of the sphygmomanometer and make the the pressure in the cuff constrict, causing pressure on the walls of the artery. As we release the air that's in the bulb, the beats would start, so the person who's listening with the stethoscope will hear the first beat. That first loudest beat is the systolic, which is the upper number. So if it starts at 130, that's where the blood pressure would be. And then you will hear a consistent beat all the way until there is a very last beat, and then no more beating. The last beat is called diastolic, and that is your lower number. So if it ends at 70, the blood pressure would be 130/70. We always want to keep people's blood pressure at a lower rate. The higher number indicates the active working heart rate. The lower number is the heart rate at rest. So if the diastolic or the lower number is above 80, that heart isn't really resting. The systolic is the pushing out, and the diastolic is the contracting of the heart. So while it's pushing out, the diastolic should be at a lower number. If it is above 90, then that heart is not resting at all, therefore pushing too much blood or force on the arteries, which can release a clot and cause a stroke. And that's what we want to prevent.
Alright, so we went to tech inspection last night. We failed 3 parts, so we came back to fix them up, and we had our meet at 8 a.m. Came back. We passed all of them except for one, and right now we're finishing up. It was the telemetry system, so now we're going to fix it up and then send it back and hopefully we pass.
It feels good to know that we passed through tech and then we're gonna be on track very soon. And it's like, it's focused on being efficient. I'm not too worried about it. So just trying to win.
It was a very good feeling coming out knowing that we're ready to race, ready to go on the track and see how we do.
Well, when we were taking the car down to the racetrack after having it go through tech inspection, we were really happy. We're really excited too because like all of our hard work is starting to pay off. So actually getting to see everything running and working perfectly is actually really great. we were almost done, and Kevin almost got through the last lap.
Yeah, I'm here. Speak clearly, I can't hear you.
Something's wrong.
Okay, well, you're exiting now. Your ignition switch is on? Your ignition switch is on? It's what? Okay, you can't start it?
Oh, it's not engaging. Chain might pop.
Yeah, I can hear you.
See if you can just coast.
If you could just coast, that'd be great. Alright. Then they're gonna pull you off.
All right, so during our first race out on the track, we got about 6 3/4 laps. And one of the issues that we had, it just cut off. So our chain actually ended up falling off. And what happened was our one-way bearing seized, and when we were going, it was going around and around and around. And something happened where it snapped at the master link, it's called, where the chain, when you link the chain back together, it connects. That actually broke off, and the chain went flying off, so we were unable to finish. So unfortunately, what we had to do is we had to take all this apart. We had to weld the sprocket straight to the differential, so now there is now it's fixed rather than freewheeling. When we cut the motor off, it's going to cut our efficiency down quite a bit, but in return it'll be more reliable and we can get runs at it. So that's pretty much what happened. And we had to disconnect all our fuel line in the meantime, so that's what we have to hook up now before we go out on the track in an hour and a half.
Kevin went for his second run. After a second run, he got a mileage of a total of 160 miles per gallon.
So I was a little anxious. So I had a little jitterbugs to get out to the track, just because I never really had a feel for the track or what the capabilities of the vehicle was. But once I got rolling, it was really smooth. Everything went away, and I was focused on getting to the finish line. Yeah, I heard some issues. I heard some noises in the vehicle. I didn't really think much of them.
We saw that that our clutch, it was since it was welded onto our shaft, it was like the engine would always spin it, so it would never turn off. Right after we figured out the problem, we let Josh go for a run because he's our backup driver and we need to let him get a turn too. We needed to make sure that he's ready in case Kevin is not available when we need him. When Josh went, we had a little laughs. We enjoyed it, and he went a little fast, which we laughed a lot out of. He did some funny things in there, and yeah, it was fun letting Josh drive. And after Josh drove, we took it back and we discussed how we can solve the problem. And we decided that the only way that we can fix it is we needed to replace the clutch. Being the fact that it was welded on, we can't. The only way we can get it out is if we disassemble it, and then we have to weld it back on. But we don't know if the welding shop's going to be open tomorrow.
And it's still a game of chance.
Because we don't know whether or not we can execute disassembling it and then putting it back on in the amount of time you have. And I at this point it's just having faith with each other and trying to get through as a team, sticking together, having a little faith, and hoping for the best.